A couple months ago, one of my biggest banger tweets was kind of when I said, "What the heck's going on with Vision Pro?" I think Scoble piled on, and Robert Scoble's been historically a big Apple, but he kind of agreed, which was rare in anything Apple. But basically, like we see, it was like a week, Pat. Like on everywhere you'd go, every tweet, it was some guy popping out of their cyber truck wearing their Vision Pro, walking into Starbucks, sitting there, slurping their coffee and doing this, and the whole world was supposed to change because of Apple. And by the way, I tend to be critical of Apple, but then I always, numerically, I often tend to be wrong. Meaning I tend to have a belief that, like, how is this going to work again? But then when it actually does work, I'm like, shit, I'm wrong. But the thing is Apple has made the call to cut production or slow or stop in R&D and development of its Pro 2. Now, it's important caveat here. It's not stopping production of Vision Pro. It's stopping the production of its high-end units, the part that we've all seen and experienced so far, to focus more effort on a lower-end unit. Now, Pat, that's kind of interesting because, we basically have the continuum of XR, right? Kind of from the Meta glasses, to the, and there's lower end even than that, but then all the way up to a $3,500 Vision Pro, which you have, right? And I have only used it a few times, once with you, so I don't have as much experience as you. But the use I've had with it, I felt it was heavy, it was kludgy. It kind of reminded me of the HoloLens in terms of its size and shape, which I understood in the most industrious of utilization, but never really saw the consumer application for it. It felt like the momentum wore off. It feels like it's a big commitment to carry. It's a big commitment to use. I've seen people talk about putting it on a plane, but the long and short is that, I think they sold about 180,000 on the pre-order, and then there was some sales that followed it up. But basically, the company's going to focus on a $1,500 cutback low-end unit, and that's where they're going to head with this thing. And Pat, I'm still concerned that this thing may bust, even at $1,500. I just don't know that there's enough value in it. So the long and the short is Apple over its skis on this one? Meaning, like, did it overcommit here? It's put the product out to market. Now they're kind of stuck. And should they have gone with, should they have focused on the car? They ditched the car and then they chose the Vision Pro. And the second question is, is this market, this XR market, is it just slow to mature? So I'll pause there, but it was very interesting. It only took less than really 6 months from the time it really hit the market to now for it to basically look like the bubble might be bursting on the Vision Pro.
Yeah, listen, there's been so many people trying to bang their heads against this for so long, and I think everybody collectively thought that Apple would come in and just save the day, and hey, they must have figured it out. And to give Apple some credit, they did move the ball forward in a couple areas, but no, I mean, I don't even remember the last time I used mine. Maybe I used it for the first 3 weeks, watching some videos and stuff like that. But and it was great at videos,
weight training.
No, and some movies were amazing on it. And the visual quality was great, but even movie watching had its issues. You could see your hands if you were watching a movie in bed or something. Literally, you had to have some light on to be able to control it. So, big issues. I actually like Apple abandoning the high-end Vision Pro and working on a more affordable version, but I would feel more comfortable if I felt like they had nailed the use case on the outset before they went and did that. So, but here we are. Kudos to Apple for moving the ball forward on a couple, but we'll see what happens. I mean, until I do not now in the enterprise market, I do believe we could see some pretty huge volumes if they shrank it down and made it cheaper. And I'm not even convinced you would have to make it cheaper. Just make the battery life last longer or have replaceable batteries for enterprise. But getting it to, let's say, sunglasses plus type of format, I think would be the right thing to do.